Ever made a decision you instantly regretted? Well, you're not alone. We're kicking off with number 10 on our list of the top 10 worst decisions in history. Buckle up, because some of these are real doozies. Today, we're delving into Mars's shocking decision to turn down a historic opportunity to feature in E.T. This monumental misstep by the global candy giant led to an enormous financial setback. Reflecting back, it cost them not just millions of dollars, but also a potential surge in M&M's sales. The backdrop of this decision takes us to the early 80s, at the height of E.T.'s production. The film's creators pitched an offer to Mars to feature M&M's, their iconic candy, in the movie. Surprisingly, Mars declined. This key moment in candy product placement opened the gateway for Hershey's Reese's Pieces, who seized the opportunity with open arms. After its cameo in the movie, Reese's Pieces sales skyrocketed with a threefold increase. Consequently, Mars's decision led to not only a missed advertising opportunity, but also handed their rival a significant edge in the candy market. Number 9. The significantly miscalculated decision by Deca Records to decline signing the Beatles. At the time, Decca was one of the biggest record companies in the world, and they firmly believed that guitar groups were on their way out. They predicted that the Beatles had no future in show business. This gross underestimation of the Beatles' potential not only led to a missed opportunity of historic proportions, but also changed the trajectory of the music industry. The Beatles went on to become one of the greatest and most influential bands in history, leaving Decca Records ruefully reflecting on a lost prospect that certainly left them singing the blues. Number 8. The infamy of thalidomide as a morning sickness treatment. Originally marketed in the late 1950s as a wonder drug for pregnant women struggling with nausea, thalidomide was soon linked to a devastating global tragedy. Unbeknownst to the medical community, it led to thousands of babies being born with severe birth defects in the 1950s and 1960s. This horrifying event left an indelible scar on global public health, prompting a fundamental shift in the regulatory landscape. Indeed, it served as a catalyst for the stringent drug testing and approval processes we have today, highlighting the crucial importance of comprehensive clinical trials before widespread use. Number 7. The Titanic series of unfortunate decisions. The infamous Titanic disaster wasn't a result of a single poor choice, but an array of them. From the insufficient number of lifeboats, a shocking total of only 20 for more than 2,200 passengers and crew, to the reckless decision to sail at full speed amid iceberg warnings, these choices culminated in one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. In fact, this tragedy was a pivotal moment in maritime safety history. The obvious neglect for safety regulations led to public outcry, ultimately resulting in the International Ice Patrol's establishment and the introduction of stricter maritime safety guidelines. The Titanic's disastrous voyage serves not just as a reminder of human error's devastating consequences, but also as a testament to the necessity of stringent safety measures in maritime travel. Number 6. The controversial decision to fill the Hindenburg with hydrogen. This decision is deeply rooted in the historical context. At the time, helium was considered a safer alternative because it doesn't burn. However, due to the United States' monopoly over helium supplies and its refusal to export it to Germany, the creators of the Hindenburg had no choice but to use hydrogen. This fateful decision led to the catastrophic Hindenburg disaster, in which the airship was consumed by flames within a minute, tragically ending the lives of 36 people. The disaster sparked a global outcry and resulted in a significant shift in air travel safety regulations. It marked the end of the airship era, and the focus then turned towards the development of safer means of air travel. Number 5. The invasion of Russia by Napoleon Bonaparte, a significant turning point in his career and European history. In the year 1812, Napoleon embarked on a daring military campaign to expand his empire eastward. His army, considered the Grand Army, was ill-prepared for the severe Russian winter and the scorched earth tactics employed by the Russian forces. This led to a disastrous retreat with a staggering loss of more than 500,000 soldiers. Napoleon's failed invasion marked the beginning of his downfall and significantly weakened his hold on the rest of Europe. This military blunder not only signaled the end of his rule, but also dramatically altered the course of European history. Number 4. Hitler invading Russia. This historic event mirrors Napoleon's ill-fated invasion of Russia, Both leaders drastically underestimated the harshness of the Russian winter and the indefatigable spirit of the Russian people. When Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa in 1941, it marked the largest military offensive in history. Unfortunately for the Third Reich, they were ill-prepared for the grueling Russian winter. Their vehicles were not equipped for the cold, and their troops were untrained for winter warfare, which resulted in high casualties. This miscalculation, coupled with the resilience of the Russian people who were ready to defend their homeland at all costs, led to significant losses for Hitler's forces. Unable to recover from such a severe defeat, the Third Reich's power dwindled, marking a pivotal turning point in World War II. This disastrous campaign against Russia played a monumental role in the eventual downfall of Hitler's regime, culminating in the end of the Third Reich. Number 3. Accepting the Trojan horse. The Trojans, in their naivety, welcomed the wooden horse with open arms, unaware of the fatal consequences this decision would have. Fabricated by the Greeks under the guise of a peace offering, this seemingly harmless wooden structure was, unbeknownst to the Trojans, a vessel carrying an entire Greek platoon. The Greeks had contrived this cunning plan in the heat of the Trojan War, a decade-long conflict that had seen no victor. However, this act of subterfuge marked a devastating turning point. In the dead of night, the Greek soldiers emerged from the belly of the covert beast, catching the city of Troy off guard. This ultimate act of deception led not only to the fall of Troy, but also marked a poignant end to the Trojan War, forever remembered as one of the most infamous moments in history. Number 2. Donner Party shortcut. In the mid-19th century, during the height of the westward expansion, the Donner Party, a group of American pioneers, made a fateful decision that would etch their names into the annals of history. Opting to take a so-called shortcut, known as the Hastings Cutoff, it was thought this route would hasten their journey to California. This decision, however, led to a dreadful delay. They found themselves ensnared in the treacherous Sierra Nevada during the harsh winter months. This horrifying tale of survival not only impacted the lives of the Donner Party, but also served as a grim cautionary tale for future pioneers, affecting decisions and routes in the ongoing westward expansion. The most disastrous decision of all, taking the top spot, Prohibition in the 1920s, also known as the Noble Experiment. This was an era when the United States, driven by a moral and social reform movement, decided to ban the production, importation, transportation, and sale of alcoholic beverages. It was initially conceived as a measure to reduce crime, increase productivity, and uplift public health. However, the reality was starkly different. Instead of the projected decrease in crime rates, Prohibition witnessed a significant surge in organized crime, spearheaded by notorious figures such as Al Capone. Crime syndicates controlled the black market for alcohol, leading to an escalation of gang warfare and violence. Corruption seeped into the society as law enforcement officials were frequently bribed to ignore illegal activities. Public health, too, far from improving, declined drastically. Thousands died from consuming rot gut or tainted alcohol as legal, quality-controlled alcohol was no longer available. The underground market was filled with toxic and dangerous concoctions, posing a significant health risk to the public. In a financial context, Prohibition had a severe impact on the American. The government lost a significant source of revenue from taxes on alcoholic beverages, and the cost of law enforcement skyrocketed. Jobs in breweries, bars, and distilleries were lost, adding to the country's economic woes. Thus, the impact of Prohibition on the American society was profound and far-reaching, casting a long shadow that would linger for decades to come. In conclusion, these decisions offer a vivid illustration of the potential ramifications of our choices, deeply rooted in historical contexts. From business missteps reminiscent of the Wall Street crash of 1929 that pushed the world into the Great Depression, to historical calamities like the fall of the Roman Empire due to a series of poor leadership decisions, they greatly emphasize the critical importance of careful consideration, thorough research, and the ability to adapt to shifting circumstances. Reflecting on the Cuban Missile Crisis, we see how careful decision-making averted a nuclear catastrophe. Similarly, the abolition of slavery, the civil rights movement, all were milestones shaped by carefully made decisions, demonstrating the profound impact our choices can have on society. It also underscores that, at times, Even the most well-intentioned decisions, like the introduction of rabbits to Australia in the 19th century for sport hunting, can have unexpected and far-reaching consequences, altering entire ecosystems. And that's a wrap on the top 10 worst decisions in history. If you've enjoyed this journey through time, don't make a bad decision by not hitting that like button. And remember, subscribing to our channel is always a good choice. We're constantly working on bringing you more insights into the fascinating world of history, from the greatest triumphs to the most epic fails. So stay tuned for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.